Hey guys, Gregory here. So today's lesson is going to be a little different. I'm going to be aiming this one at those of you who are now looking to play guitar for the first time, or even for those of you who have been playing for some time but are looking for a little bit of guidance on what to do next. So the aim of this lesson is to just kind of give you some expectations as to what it means to play the guitar, what you can expect to find yourself learning, and a general guide as to the things you may want to choose to work on. Now, if you've ever seen anyone play guitar before, they're generally doing one of three things. They're either playing chords, they're playing melodies, or they're doing a combination of those two things. Now, to explain what those things are, chords and melodies, the simplest example that I can give you is think of karaoke. Whenever you go to sing karaoke, there's usually the karaoke track. So the karaoke track, in a sense, we can compare that to playing chords. If you were to play a karaoke track, you would hear the music of the song, but there's no singing going on. So the song itself feels empty by itself. It sounds very musical, but it still feels somewhat empty. It's lacking the melody or the singer. So the melody would be the karaoke singer. Now, if the karaoke singer were to sing the melody without a karaoke track, it might sound good, but it tends to sound a bit empty. And likewise, if we were to just play a karaoke track or the chords in this example, just by itself, while it could sound pretty upbeat and whatnot, it's kind of lacking that unique quality that makes it sound like a particular song. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play an example of each of these three things, playing a song using chords alone, playing a song using the melody alone, and then playing the same song using both chords and melody, so you can get an idea basically of how playing the guitar works. So the first example is song using chords. Now chances are you're not going to really guess what song I'm playing. Some of you might, but most of you may not have an idea of the song that I'm playing from this example. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it sounds very nice, but it doesn't say a whole lot on its own. So let's use the second example, the same song using the melody, and most likely you are going to be able to tell what song I'm playing. So 1, 2, 3. Right? So most of you all might have guessed happy birthday. So I'm going to do it one more time now, and then I'm going to play the chords and melody together, most likely using an edit in the video, and they will just sound really nice together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's go a little deeper into these three ideas. We're going to start with chords. Now, chords are a great way to start learning to play the guitar. And the reason for that is chords, well, firstly, we can think of chords as these shapes that we have on the guitar. So this is a chord, this is a chord, and this is a chord. That's three chords that I've shown you, okay? And with three chords, generally, if you use the right chords, we can play many songs with three chords, alright? But if we were to learn the melody of a song like Happy Birthday, we could spend like a week, let's say, learning Happy Birthday. But then we can't really reuse the melody in another song. You know, it's very specific to that song. But if we were to spend a week learning three chords, we can just keep playing songs all day. Alright? So a great place to start is by learning chords. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you three chords that you should start learning with an additional three chords. And I will just briefly explain how to hold these chords. I'm not going to get too much into the technicality of the technique. I have another video on that you can check out on the channel. So I'm going to give you the first three chords that you should start with, an additional three chords that you can learn after, and I'm going to move on. So the first three chords that you should take a look at are G major, C major, and D D major. Great place to start. So G major, we're putting the first finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, middle finger on the 3rd fret, 6th string, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string, and this is a 6 string chord, so we strum all 6 strings. Right? Once again, if you're not getting the hang of this, you can pause the video here and go to the other videos where I explain better how to hold these chords. Anyway, continuing, the next chord is C major. This is another good one. So C major, we put the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and we strum the 5th to the 1st string, that's C major. Alright, the 3rd chord, that's D major, so that's the open 5th string, 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 1st string, and 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and we strum 4 strings, the 4th to the 1st for D major. So spend quite a bit of time learning that. And what I will do in a follow-up video is I will give you maybe a song or a couple songs that we can play just using these 3 chords. In fact, since the Christmas season was so recent, in fact, we're currently in it, at least at the time of this video, you can take a look at that one. I did one where I did 5 songs using those chords, G, C, and D. So look for that on the channel. It's a great place to start. Okay? So spend a lot of time learning these 3 chords. If you've got any hang of these 3 chords, and maybe you've played a couple of songs, another 3 chords that you can use that go well with these first 3 here are E minor, A minor, and B minor. Okay? So let me show you these 3 now. So after you spend time on those first 3, spend some more time on these. E minor, 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and we strum all 6. That's the E minor, E as an egg. And then A minor, that's the open 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and we strum 5 strings, the 5th to the 1st for A minor. And then B minor, I call this B minor, but I think the actual name for it is a B minor 11. Don't worry too much about it. It's gonna sound fine in most cases, right? So for B minor, we're gonna put the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. 3rd fret, 2nd string, right? And we strum 5 strings for B minor, right? So these 3 chords that I've given you here, E minor, A minor, and B minor, go well with the first 3 that I've given you, G, C, and D, and chances are, at least for the lessons that I'm probably going to give, songs in the key of G, you're going to find one of these 6 chords in it. If you are already used to those 6 chords that I just mentioned and you want to add a couple more to your repertoire, I'm going to list maybe about 11 of them down in the description, and I'll call all of them for you now. I'm not going to go through them individually, as in show you how to play them, but you will find the chord charts for them down in the description. So starting from the beginning, we have C major, A major, G major, E major, D major, and we have A minor, B minor, E minor, D minor, F, it's really F major 7, but you just call it F, and a B7, which you can use in place of a B major at times. Those are just the chords that I tend to find very useful when dealing with beginners. Still on the topic of chords here, so one thing that's very important to go along with your chords is your strumming. We need to learn to strum the guitar because that's what gives life to our chords, alright? So I'm going to give you an example of what strumming does to your chords, and then I'm going to give you an example of a strumming pattern that's very popular and you can begin learning right away. So if I were to play the same song, Happy Birthday, let's say I want a mellow Happy Birthday, I'll just strum less. So we have Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday to you, right? But if I want a more upbeat Happy Birthday, I can strum more. So 1, 2, 3, Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday to you, right? So you get the idea. Strumming defines the energy or the groove that you put into the song. So it's very important to learn strumming patterns. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you one example of a very popular strum that you can use in many songs. And it goes like this. Once again, I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm sure I have a video on how to do the strumming pattern, so just go to my channel, or I'll put a link to it in the description. The strumming pattern goes like this: down, down, up, up, down, up. And I'm playing it on a G major. You can play it on a G, or you can play it with no chord at all. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, up, down. Right? One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, up. So if you want a little bit more practice on this, a bit more detail on how to get this done, I'll put a link to a video that will kind of help you with that. Alright, let's talk about the second way of playing the guitar that I mentioned earlier, and that's by playing melodies. Now, melodies are the very unique part of the song that identify the song in most cases, and it could be the vocal part of a song, it could be a solo, it could be a riff or a lick, or even something that you made up. And the best way to get into playing melodies is really just to try as many of them as you can. Okay? Now, you're going to come across some melodies that are more difficult than others. That's just how it is. If you really want to find something that's a bit more manageable, you can maybe try searching YouTube for easy melodies for guitar or something like that. I don't think I have any melody tutorials on my channel currently. Alright? So, a good thing to do would also be to use a pick. A pick is a great way to get into picking the guitar. And what I'll do now is I'll give you an exercise that will really kind of, attune you to playing or picking on the guitar. So the exercise is really simple. We're going to be using 4 fingers on 4 frets. So we're going to assign the first finger to the 5th fret, the middle finger to the 6th fret, the third finger to the 7th fret, and the pinky finger to the 8th fret. So 1 finger per fret starting from the 5th. So we're going to put the first finger on the 5th fret 6th string, and we're just going to pluck it. And then we're going to put the middle finger on the 6th fret 6th string, play. Then the third finger on the 7th fret 6th string, and the pinky finger on the next one. This is your weakest finger, so take your time. And then we repeat on the next string, on the 5th string now. So first finger on the 5th fret 5th string, middle finger on the 6th fret 5th string, third finger on the 7th fret 5th string, and the pinky finger on the 8th fret 5th string. And we repeat for all 6 strings. Now take your time. If you are now playing guitar for the first time, really do take your time. It's not about getting there, or getting to the end rather, okay? Spend a lot of time playing all 6 strings. You can go down, well, you can do, technically this direction is up for the guitar. It's up the strings, I can go down the strings, right? And if you become accustomed to that, one thing you can add to the exercise is try to alternate pick with your right hand. So in other words, with the first note, if you pick a down, the next note you should pick upward, okay? Try not to just pick in one direction, okay? You can start off by picking just down alone, but if you want to push yourself a little bit, try alternate picking. Let's talk about the third way of playing the guitar that's most common, and that's combining playing chords with playing melodies. And the very common way of doing that on the guitar is by using a technique called finger picking or fingerstyle. Alright, so finger picking, before we get into the whole idea of combining those first 2 things, we can actually use finger picking to do either one or both. So if I were to use finger picking to play chords, it will be the same thing, but it has a different quality, or I can create a different quality. So instead of strumming, da da da, ba ba da, da da da, da. Right, I can use finger picking to give it a different quality, like da da da, da da da, da da da, da da. Right, so it just has this naturally gentler quality about it. All right. Now, if I wanted to use finger picking to combine the 2, that's also a possibility, but it's a bit more involved. It takes quite a bit more effort to get the hang of it. Now, there is no particular requirement to start learning to play the guitar this way. If you really want to, you can just get into it. Just look for a tab of your favorite song in a fingerstyle version, preferably an easier version of it, and just get into it. It will take you a while to learn, however. Just be prepared for that, but if you love it, you'll have the patience to follow it through. So now what I'll do is I'll give you an example of song, the same song, using fingerstyle. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Right? So it's a lovely way to just kind of be this one-man show where you can play a song and it sounds like you're just doing everything. I love to do fingerstyle. I think fingerstyle is an amazing way to play the guitar, and I have a lot of fulfillment learning songs in that way. I'm not going to teach you any particular examples of finger picking in this video, and that's because finger picking takes a little bit more time to explain. What I am going to do is I'm going to give you an example of a song that I advise you to learn. It is the song that I used when I just started to play guitar, and that song is like a crash course in finger picking. If you can play that song, you're more or less on your way to becoming a fingerstyle guitarist. Okay, and that song is Dust in the Wind. So if you do listen to that song, it will sound kind of intimidating, but if nothing else, at least learn the intro for this song. The right hand pattern that you do learn for this song is more than enough to get you going. Alright, so what should you learn? There are 3 things that I mentioned. That's playing chords, or we can play melodies, or we can try to combine the 2 by using fingerstyle. So it depends on what you want. I would say that if you're a singer, chords are a really good way to start if you can sing. Or if you want to play along with other people, if you have friends that are musicians, or if you want to play along to songs on your computer or something like that, chords are just a really good way. You can cover quite a lot and learn quite a number of songs using chords. If you really just want to hear this vocal part of a song, or play something that people will hear and know instantly what song you're playing, if you like that kind of thing, but then play melodies. Learn to play as many melodies as you want. If you want to be a one-man show like me, learn fingerstyle. It's the hardest of the 3, but it's not impossible. It just takes a fair bit of patience and practice. And you really, if you love it enough, you don't need any prerequisites to get into it. You can just go for it. Just try to find tutorials of songs that you really like, and just prepare to spend quite a bit of time learning these things. Or if you want, you can do all 3 of them at the same time. It's really up to you. So that's it really. This video really was just an introduction into what playing the guitar really is, what you can expect to be doing. You might either be playing melodies, or you might be playing chords, or you might be doing a combination of those 2 things. So you might have a better idea as to what you may want to practice. So if you did enjoy the lesson, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. But until next time, goodbye.